Hey, welcome, hello. First of all, welcome in. My name's Corey. This is my first video, and if you've come over from my Twitch streams, then hello. I'm sure you all know me already. I go by Corey or CJ. And if you just stumbled across this video, scrolling through YouTube Football Manager videos like I do all the time, then welcome. You won't have seen my face before. Like I said, I go by Corey or CJ. And I mainly stream on Twitch. I play a lot of Football Manager, but I stream it over on my Twitch channel. Obviously, that'll be linked below. Not going to miss out on that. Free promotion. But yeah, I decided that some stuff I wanted to do on Football Manager wasn't very good for Twitch. Experiment type stuff that you can do. And I thought, why not create a little YouTube channel, stick it all on here, and then it's somewhere else that I can direct people to for stuff like what I'm doing today. And what I am doing today is Frank Lampard and Thomas Tuchel. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm going to go with Tuchel because when he was linked with Saints a few years back, Sky Sports News kept calling him Thomas Tuchel. That's going to annoy people, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. So, as I'm recording this morning, Frank Lampard's just been sacked. This evening, Frank Lampard has just been sacked as Chelsea manager, and the odds-on favourite to replace him, to take his job, is Thomas Tuchel, former Borussia Dortmund manager, former PSG manager, and I decided let's put him in charge of Football Manager of Chelsea and see how he gets on. See if in the Football Manager universe were Chelsea justified to get rid of Super Frank and bring Thomas in. So let's get in. I've done the simulations and we're all ready to go. So this is the first simulation, and as you can see, if my keyboard decides it wants to work anytime soon, here we go. Chelsea. Interesting. Okay. So what I've basically done, the way I've done this is I've done 3 simulations each. So 3 simulations with Frank Lampard still in charge, just to get a rough idea of how they would get on with him still in charge, and 3 simulations where Thomas Tuchel was taken over and is in charge from the start of the season. So this first simulation is from Frank Lampard still being in charge. So if we go to history and go to managers, there it is. Frank Lampard, as you can see, joined 4th of 7th, 2019. Date left, 23rd of the 5th. January, February, March, April, May. So he's left. This is obviously coming on the 31st of May. So he's left literally a few days ago at the end of the season. He has been sacked as Chelsea boss. Reason behind it? Interesting. They finished 5th. That's not awful. John Joe Salvi's is second in assists there. That is interesting. They finished 5th in the league, which isn't awful. 23 wins, 5 draws, 10 losses. I mean, 10 losses is a little high for that sort of European level, but when you look at the teams they lost to, with the exception there at the bottom of West Brom and Burnley, I feel like that's pretty justified, them losing to twice to Man City, twice to Tottenham, once to Man United, once to Wolves, once to Arsenal, once to Liverpool. I don't think that's too bad for a Chelsea team that have just, even in game, made a hell of a lot of transfers. Big names coming in: Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, Malang Sarr, Mendy, Havertz. They've all come in, even in real life. Clearly, they are struggling to gel because Super Frank couldn't keep his job. But by the looks of it, he didn't bring in any extra transfers at the start of the save. He did in a couple in January. This guy, Oleg Ryabouik. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but 2 substitute appearances in the Champions League is all he made. Well, and 2 substitute appearances in the Premier League is all he made. He looks like a pretty good, for a 23-year-old, left winger / left back. He brought him in January, but like I said, didn't really use him. And Maxim Lunyov, who is a 23-year-old Ukrainian striker who they bought in from Zoya in the Ukrainian League. 5.25 million. Then, by the looks of it, loaned him straight out to Ajax because he made no appearances at all for Chelsea. So straight in, straight back out, get his value up and sell him. That's the Chelsea way. But headlines from this one: Frank Lampard got sacked after finishing 5th. Quick look at the season preview will tell you Chelsea are predicted to finish 3rd. So, yeah, maybe that is a slight below par performance from him there. 5th place, 23 wins, 5 draws, 10 losses. We'll have a quick look who scored the goals for them this season. So, as expected on Football Manager, the majority of Chelsea's goals were scored by Timo Werner and Kai Havertz. No surprises there. Michy Batshuayi did score a lot, but unfortunately for Chelsea, he was out on loan at Crystal Palace. Tammy Abraham scoring a few goals for them. Pulisic as well with a handful. He turns an absolute beast this year on FM. If you're looking for that sort of left-sided young player, he's not cheap, and you will never get him cheap. But Christian Pulisic is great. Sidebar. Anyway, Assist-wise, Mateo Kovacic with 18 assists, which is, I mean, it's pretty good. In terms of the league, though, doesn't look like he was... Oh, yeah, sorry, he is there. He's right there at the top. 12 assists in the league, which obviously means 6 outside of the league, cup competitions, Champions League, that sort of thing. In terms of the top goal scorer list, Timo Werner was there, joint third with Bruno Fernandes. Bernardo Silva second. Chris Wood, the Burnley striker. Shout out, Chess. Top of the top goal scorer charts with 20. Interesting. Anyway, we'll move on and have a look what happened in the second simulation of Super Frank being in charge. Where is Super Frank? Super Frank Season 2. There we go. When it loads up. Luckily, the loading time's very quick this year on FM. Very quick. So, how did they get on this time round with Super Frank? Chelsea, again, finished 5th, and again, lost his job on the... Wait, this isn't the same simulation, is it? Oh, no. Oh, no, it's not the same. Oh, thank God. I thought I had the exact same simulation loaded up twice. That would have been embarrassing. No, again, finishing 5th, and again, Super Frank gets his contract terminated on the 23rd of May. But I can tell it's a different simulation because a few different transfers happened. Again... Oh, no, I was going to say again, no one bought in the summer transfer window, but there was. Sami Tlemkani, just a youth player there, bought in for 925k. Tellers Magno, FM1 kid, has been now for a couple of years, but he came in, didn't really do that much for them. A few substitute appearances, couple of goals and an assist, but nothing special, but he didn't come until January. Francisco Moura came in from Braga, left-sided player. He's loan listed already. Couple of games in the Europa League, so they didn't even make it to the Champions League qualifiers, but knockout stages. And Lewis Ferguson came in from Aberdeen, 21-year-old centre mid. Looks actually pretty solid all round, to be honest. I've heard of Lewis Ferguson before. Maybe that's me being a bit of a noob, but there we go. Pretty good average rating in the Europa League, a 7.13 in the 3 games that he played, but only 1 substitute appearance in the Premier League. And again, loan listed. That's the Chelsea way. No changes. A few less losses, but again, finishing 5th. But again, qualifying for the Europa League. Chris Wood finishing the top goal scorer in the game. Why is he so good with his 14 finishing? Miles is a Burnley fan, he must be. Forget Watford. 21 wins, 11 draws, and 6 losses. If they had just turned a couple of those draws into wins, 2 or 3 of those draws into wins, and they'd have been right up there, top 3, and then maybe Super Frank would have kept his job. Whoops. Again, let's have a quick look at top goal scorers. So, top goal scorer again, Timo Werner with 22. Mason Mount with 13. Pretty good return for him. Again, only 22 as well. Pulisic with 12. He's always up there. Hakim Ziyech. I'm not noticing Kai Havertz up here. Where is he? He's down in 7 goals. A lot less than what he scored in the first simulation. But Mateo Kovacic this time round, only getting 12 assists. So, overall, not quite as many goals in the squad and not quite as many assists, which you'd expect with not as many goals, but still managing to secure 5th place finish. Unfortunately, Super Frank wasn't able to secure a new contract. In terms of outgoings, we didn't look at outgoings on the previous one, but in terms of outgoings, was there anyone major? No, is the answer to that. Bakayoko, Willy Caballero went to River Plate. Yeah, no, all them are fairly normal. Billy Gilmour on loan to a Japanese K-League team, which, you know, of all the places to send Scottish Billy Gilmour, that'd be the one I'd think of. But let's have a look at Super Frank Season 3, and can he, for the first time, Super Frank, please keep his job? Available jobs. He's not on the available jobs list, which means has, for once, Super Frank been able to keep... He must have done, because they finished 2nd. He is still in charge. Seen it here up on this screen. Super Frank is still in charge. Go to the managers list. He is still there because he has not been sacked. Thank you, finally, FM, for, you know, doing something a bit different. Danny Ings is the king of the scummers, finishing 2nd in the Premier League top goal scorers charts, behind former Saint Sadio Mane. Just saying, we pretty much dominated that. This time, in the 38 games played, they won 28 of them, drew 4 and lost 6, finishing 5 points behind Man City with a goal difference 10 less than them. Much more solid season for Chelsea, a much more solid season. I'm pretty sure Chris Wood wouldn't have finished top of the goal scorers charts this year, which obviously he didn't, because Burnley got relegated on 34 points. But that, oh my God, I've just noticed the points for the relegate. I know this is a complete sidebar, but So the bottom 6, Burnley, Sheffield United, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, West Brom, West Ham, even Fulham, were all set. So the bottom 7 separated by 4 points, which means going into the final day, everyone of that bottom 7 could have been relegated. Wow. Sheffield United, with the most wins out of that bottom 7, managing to go down on goal difference by 1. Wow. Aston Villa and Sheffield United both going down by 1 goal difference. Heartbreaking to be a fan of either of them teams. So, this time round, I'm guessing they scored a few more goals. I'm guessing. In fact, let's quickly look at transfers. So, again, no one coming in. Oh, well, it's the Sami Talemkani guy. Maybe he came in real life. I'm not sure. Victor... I mean, feel free to let me know in the comments how to pronounce his name. We'll call him Victor. Victor comes in January. Manages to make a bit of an impact, it's fair to say. 6 starts and 4 substitute appearances in the Premier League. 5 goals and 2 assists. So, I mean, yes, there were 2 penalties, but that's not the point. Bruno Fernandes still gets raved about. He just scores pens. And that incredible free kick against Liverpool the other day. But anyway, so this guy, Victor, Bet Victor came in. Made a big change for them by the looks of it. And also Mateus Palacios from San Lorenzo, 19-year-old. He doesn't look 19, he looks 40. But 19-year-old Cam coming in. He doesn't look very good. He doesn't. I mean, yeah, he's got a couple of good stats here and there, but no, nothing special, is he really? Let's be honest. And again, anyone leaving, no one particularly special leaving. Danny Drinkwater, who, in case you missed it, seemed to put something on his Instagram story to suggest he was happy about Lampard leaving today. Read into that as you will. But yeah, he left. Billy Gilmore again going on loan, this time to Wigan. Slightly different from a K-League team, but you know. And who got the majority of the goals for them this year? So it was... Okay, not as many goals scored, so they must have just conceded a lot less. Maybe they, you know, their defence must have just stepped up this season and not capitulated like it seemingly has done in the past, you know, simulations. But no surprise, the German Torres, as he's now being dubbed because he can't score a goal for love nor money after a big transfer to Chelsea. 20 goals in his 47 games this season for Timo Werner. Kai Havertz again up there with 14. Pulisic again up there with 13. Ziyech, the usual suspects. Ziyech with 13. Tammy Abraham with 11. Mason Mount with 9. And then below that, Kovacic with 6. This Siakov guy, that might be how you actually say it, not sure, with 5. And then assists, Kovacic is the assist merchant in the team by the looks of it with 19 of them. Hakim Ziyech again. Wow, that's a hell of a return, by the way, for Hakim Ziyech. 13 goals and 15 assists in his first season in the Premier League. I know that's not just in the Premier League. In the Premier League, it was 8 and 8. He also got 4 assists in the Champions League and 1 in the FA Cup. Bless him, probably against like Morecambe or something. Kante with 14 assists. You wouldn't expect anything less. Pocket rocket. Cesar Azpilicueta with 6. Did he play much out of interest? He did. He played a full season. It's only right. He is their captain, I believe. He is their captain. It says it there. So, because they were successful, or slightly more successful in this simulation, I want to have a quick look how they got on in the Champions League. So, where is it? Where are we looking? Champions League first knockout round. They were knocked out by PSG, which is only, you know, it's only fair. It's PSG. Out of interest, Man City beat Liverpool in the final in Istanbul. Ooh, Liverpool fans, be honest. Be honest in the comments, Liverpool fans. Does it sting just a little bit? Does it? Does it? I don't mind Liverpool, so it stings a little bit for me. And I don't even particularly, you know, like them. They're just neutral to me. But a little consolation, Liverpool fans. You did beat Real Madrid in the semi-final. Man City beating Juventus, which arguably these days is a bigger scalp. But regardless, they lost in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. Chelsea. This is back to Chelsea. Lost in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. 1-1, going out on penalties to Sheffield United. And then it was Premier League action from there on in. But speaking of the FA Cup, well, we will have a quick look. Because why not? It's always interesting. Everton beat Man United after extra time. 3-2. That's certainly an interesting result. Biggest win of the season for Chelsea. Let's have a little look-see, shall we? A couple of 4-0s in there, which looks to me like the biggest win. Biggest loss was 4-0 as well to Arsenal. But yeah, a few 4-0s in there. So the biggest wins against Leeds, against Mallorca in a friendly, because why not? And against Crystal Palace in the league. 4-1 against West Brom. They After Arsenal beat them 4-0, they went and beat them 4-1 with Pulisic scoring in the first minute and Willian scoring against them. Chelsea fans, be honest in the comments, does it sting? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I guess not really. Probably. I mean, yeah, he was there quite a while. Anyway, just sidebar. Completely getting sidetracked. Don't worry about it. And also a 4-1 win with Tammy Abraham scoring a hat-trick in against West Brom. Sorry. Right, so as it stands, Frank has been sacked. Super Frank has been sacked twice and has managed to keep his job and finish second once. Can Thomas Tuchel, Tuki do any better? We'll load up TomTom 1. Again, we've got 3 simulations, the same as we had with Super Frank with Thomas Tuchel. We'll see. Have they done any better? Yes. Because he's not on the available jobs list. He is, however, on the insecure jobs list. And that is interesting. No, it is interesting. I guess maybe I can understand it. Let's try and justify why Thomas Tuchel's managed to keep his job. So first of all, quick brief insight on Thomas Tuchel. If you're not sure, I don't know why it doesn't have that screen anymore. Really annoying. FM, sort it out. But you can see here in the bottom corner. Previously a player playing for Augsburg mainly. Also Stuttgarter Kickers and I don't know. Retired in 1998 and then started his coaching career in 2004 as Stuttgart under-19s assistant manager. Went to Augsburg as head of youth development, became the under-19s manager, become the reserves manager, working his way up. Went to Mainz then as the under-19s manager in 2008 before taking over in 2009 as the first team manager at Mainz, where he apparently did a good job because he was there 5 years before getting headhunted by Borussia Dortmund in 2015, who took him there for 2 years before I believe he got sacked. I can't remember 100%. It might say here. I'm not sure. Posty was hold, blah, blah, blah. Manager at Dortmund. They won the Deutsche Pokal in 2017. A break from football lasting 13 months. It doesn't say, but if I remember rightly, he got sacked with a poor run of form, but then took over as PSG manager. It's just the easiest job in football, isn't it? Took over as PSG manager from 2018 to 2020. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino's there now in real life. Not in the game, don't think. Claude Puel's there. Just don't. As a Saints fan, if you're a Saints fan, you know why that angers me so goddamn much. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Thomas Tuchel is now the manager of Chelsea. And like we say, first season here, first simulation. They finished 5th but didn't get sacked. And I think I know why. It may be due to, if I can see this, past position. Yeah, okay, so that's why. So Super Frank, again, we didn't look at past position Super Frank, so I'm just guessing. But Super Frank, I think, wouldn't have had this. So Thomas Tuchel was 3rd in the table. Started 17th. Lost a couple of games at the opening of the season. Then shot straight up. Lost a couple more games. Then shot straight up again. And he's pretty much been in the top 4 regardless of this little weird thing here between like November and Christmas. But pretty much been in the top 4, top 5 ever since. And then on match day 29, which was January, February, March, April, the 3rd of April. Sorry, I'm not very good with months. On the 3rd of April, managed to start a climb where he got into the top 3, dropped a little bit, but then came straight back, and then was top 3 for the next 3 or 4 weeks, which would have secured his job, obviously, in top 3. But then, right towards the end of the season, the final 3 game weeks, they must have lost to Fulham, West Brom, and Everton, right? And that's just knocked him down to 5th. And then even when we look at the table, 5th is the same number of points as 3rd, Tottenham, who got Champions League. Same number of points as 5th, Chelsea, who only got Europa League. They only missed out on goal difference, which is why I think Thomas Tuchel would have kept his job. Now, have they been playing any different tactic? Have they? They have. Super Frank was going with a 4-2-3-1 wide, which is exactly the same as this formation, but where Kovacic is in the DM role, move him up to Cam, then it's exactly the same. So, very similar formations, slightly different. Sorry if I keep hitting the mic. Sorry, I'm gesticulating with my arm. So, by the looks of it, and I'm going to do this with a bit more detail because it's obviously different from the Frank one, but a bit of a rocky start. Losing the first 2 games of the Premier League season, Chelsea fans would have been pooing themselves without a goal scored and 4 goals conceded. Would have been thinking, that's not what we want. But then immediately going to City and managing to win 1-0 in the EFL Cup 3rd round might have calmed those nerves slightly. Just looking at there's a fair bit of red in there, There's a fair bit of red. Losing to Inter in the Champions League group stages. Now, we know Inter are a good team on Football Manager this year, but still, losing to Saints, which makes me happy. Shane Long scoring 2, which, I mean, don't worry about it. Losing to PSG, which, that's going to hurt for Thomas Tuchel. That is going to hurt. But then beating them later on in the month, 3-2. So maybe it didn't hurt that badly. But a lot of green towards the end of the season, which again, I think saved their campaign. 1 game lost in the final 2 months of the season, which unfortunately was against Fulham. So if they had beaten that Fulham side, which, let's have a look. I mean, Fulham finishing 13th, you'd say that Chelsea probably should have beat them. They would have been on 79 points and would have finished 3rd based on their goal difference, unless they smashed Fulham like 5-0. They would have finished 3rd probably based on goal difference, and Thomas Tuchel would have been a lot more safe than the insecure jobs list that he is currently on. Quick look, actually, before I do that, at transfers. Did they make any surprising transfers? Slightly different, but also a little bit the same. So the 21st of August, Dominik Grief was bought in from Slovan Bratislava for 900k. 24-year-old goalkeeper who played 1 game in the Champions League, kept 1 clean sheet. Played one game and 1 substitute appearance. I'm guessing Kepa or Mendy must have had an injury at some point. In the Premier League, conceded 2 and kept 1 clean sheet. So conceded 2 in 1 game, basically. 1 game in the FA Cup, and then some crappy no one cares about tournaments. Weird transfer that. Has he played under? He's not. He's not played under Tuchel before. He started his career at Slovan Bratislava and has played there ever since. Even so, he's only played sporadically. I can't make any sense of that transfer whatsoever. He's Slovak, so he's not even the same nationality as Tuchel. Anyway, they also brought in Oleg Ryabouik, who I think we've looked at before. Or I think we've seen before in one of the other simulations, maybe. I recognise that name, the left-sided player. Some pretty good all-round stats. But they loaned him straight out to AZ Alkmaar. So, again, random 23-year-old transfer. And Odilon Kosanunu. They brought in 20-year-old centre-back, right wing-back, CDM, centre-mid. Where would you play him? 13 heading, 13 marking, 13 tackling. But good pace. Good jumping reach. Yeah, he's a centre-back, isn't he? He's a centre-back. It's 8 crossing. He's definitely a centre-back. You play him at wing-back, you are mental. But he came in for 4.2 million, made 3 appearances, averaging 6.5. I mean, the transfer policy leaves a little bit to be desired, doesn't it, Tuchel? But in terms of the outgoings, I mean, nothing particularly out of the ordinary, to be honest. Valentino Livramento is one of those players on FM that always seems to get mentioned by various different people, really. But yeah, nothing out of the ordinary in terms of outgoing. So, first simulation, he has kept his job. So he's already at least matched what Super Frank would have done. Maybe it's time to be a little bit optimistic about the rest of the season, Chelsea fans. We'll look at TomTom 2 and just see how he's getting on. I'm aware this video is getting on a bit. Again, he's on the insecure jobs list, so okay. Well, guess what, boys and girls? This time they finished 6th, and he still didn't get sacked. Okay. Chelsea fans, be worried again. I said Chris Wood, go away. I said be optimistic. Chelsea fans, maybe not. Let's have a quick look. So, 17 wins, 11 draws. That's a lot of draws, that. All 1-1 or 2-2 as well. Not a goalless draw in there. Not 3-3. Not a mad like 7-7. Why would that be a 7-7? I mean, it's not good, is it? I think the only reason he's kept his job is because he's just started the job at the start of this season. I think that's probably the only reason why he's kept his job in this case. Quick look at the transfers. So, the people to come in. Oh, okay. Dominik Grave came in again. Maybe he comes in every time. I don't know. Federico Bernardeschi is coming for Juventus for 8 million. That's a steal. That's a steal. To only play him in 6 games is an absolute joke, but that's a steal for 8 million. Karamoko Dembele, absolute FM wonder kid. Love him. Fantastic player. Only downside is he come from a real scumbaggy team, but, you know, 18 now. He's loan listed, as he probably should be, because he's not getting into the Chelsea first team with those stats. Diawara? Yeah. He used to play... Who did he used to play for? I mean, look on here. It's Italian. Yeah, Italian. Italian. He used to play for Roma and Napoli. I've seen him on, like, Ultimate Team, mainly, I think, on FIFA. But, again, bought him in, spent £32 million on him, and played him in 5 Premier League games, or 5 starts in the Premier League. And then Oleg Riabuik again comes in. In terms of outgoings, quick one. Kurt Zuma left for 31 million in January, which I guess where they got the money to make the Diawara transfer. Apart from that, Riabuik going to Fenerbahce. He always seems to go on loan to some Dutch team, but not great. Not great, Chelsea fans. FA Cup went out in the 5th round to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Champions League got to the semi-final. No, got to the final. Sorry, got to the final of the Champions League and lost 1-0 to PSG to an Ander Herrera 90th minute winner. Man United fans are loving that, but Chelsea fans probably not so much. Unfortunate, unlucky Chelsea fans. Mendy also got injured in that game and Kepa had to come off the bench, which no wonder you lost, really. I mean, I don't suppose it would tell me what minute he got injured in, would it? That's not a feature. That's not great. Bert Lockett. That's a fantastic name, by the way. It doesn't look very good. But anyway. He's kept his job again, which I think he's only done, like I said, based on the fact that he's only, in this simulation, taken the job at the start of the season. Right? So they're kind of just giving him more time. Whereas Frank, it's easier to sack because he's already had the time. He's already had a whole season before this one in game. Which is, yeah, I think that's probably why he's not been sacked. In terms of goals, I'll have a quick look. Timo Werner scoring all the goals. Callum Hudson-Odoi popping out. He hasn't been on the list before in terms of the top goal scorers, but there we go. And N'Golo Kante with 18 assists. He is injured, though, and out for 2 to 5 weeks. But yeah, 18 assists. Tomori with 7 assists. Tomori with 7 assists from centre-back. I don't suppose it'll... No, they played him at centre-back, and he got 7 assists. They're playing some sort of weird long ball tactic. They won't show me their tactics properly, but yeah. Weird. Kovacic, not as many, only 6 for Kovacic this time. Right, let's move on. We'll have one last look. One last Tom save. Now, basically at this point, he needs to have won the league to beat Super Frank. Which he may have done. He's not on the insecure jobs list. And Chelsea aren't on the available jobs list. So unless it's gone really badly and he's been replaced mid-season, I'm guessing a top 4 finish here for Chelsea. Oh, it's went really badly and he's been replaced mid-season. Okay, let's read. What, off of Saint? But anyway. Okay. Well, I guess we saved the most interesting one for last. Let's have a look at this. Thomas Tuchel took over on the 27th of 7th, first day of the save. Sacked on the 13th of February after 200 days. Doesn't give a reason as to why he was sacked. Just says sacked. Taken over. Allegri. You all know Allegri. He used to manage everywhere, but mainly known for his stint at Juventus for, I think he was there about 5 years. So, the easiest way to do this, we know he was sacked at the start of February, or midway through February. Past positions. So let's work out where he was sacked. Match day 12. Boom, boom. Okay. It was there. It was after that Leicester game. 13th of February, I think. Let me quickly go back to history managers. Yeah, so 13th of February he was sacked. And then... So, not season brief. Bloody idiot. So he was sacked after this game here. That makes slightly more sense. They were down in 7th when he was sacked. The season didn't start very well. They appeared to have lost their first 2 games before going on an absolute storming run of form where they climbed like 19 places in about 5 weeks. Anyway, and then it was going really well for Tuchel up until about Boxing Day. Maybe he ate one too many pigs in blankets and couldn't make it to the next game. I don't know. I have no reason as to why it turned around like this on Boxing Day. Maybe going into January, maybe someone got a big move away. One of their key players got a big move away. We'll have a look at the transfers in a minute. But it just went badly. 1-1 draw to Burnley. 2-0 loss to Fulham. 2-2 draw with West Brom. 2-0 loss to Everton. 2-1 loss to Tottenham. 3-2 potentially win against Man City because they haven't dropped anywhere. 2-1 loss to Sheffield United. 1-0 loss to Wolves. And then the straw that broke the camel's back, essentially, a 1-1 draw to Leicester City. on the 13th of February, which is the day he was sacked. Immediately, though, they bring Allegri in and managed to recover their season somewhat. I mean, down in 7th, managed to get back to 5th, and where they pretty much held like the whole second half of the season. But wow, okay. I think the phrase that springs to mind is the grass isn't always greener, Chelsea fans. Transfer-wise, grief has come in again, and he's really griefing me at this point. But Sabitzer, we all know him from Leipzig. There we go. He's from Leipzig. I knew him. Yeah, played for Leipzig for years and years and years. Did average. Got a big £27 million move to Chelsea, where, to be fair, he was actually okay second half of the season. They did only start him in 6 Premier League games and 4 substitute appearances, but he did get 4 goals in those games and averaged above a 7, which, with the average rating on FM this year, that's quite good. So, well done, Marcel. Cut your hair, though. And outgoings. This is going to be the interesting one. I mean, it's not interesting because there's no outgoings. I can't explain to you why Thomas Tuchel has done so incredibly badly there. Out of interest, has Super Frank landed on his feet? No. No, he hasn't. This didn't go the way I planned. I mean, not like I planned it, not like that, but this didn't go the way I thought it would. Thomas Tuchel was still unemployed. Still hadn't managed to get a job. But the goals came mainly from Timo Werner, and he's not scored any less than what we've seen in other saves. The assists came mainly from Mateo Kovacic, and he's, to be fair, we've seen him have less assists than that. I can't explain what went wrong for this Chelsea team. They're still using that 4-3-3 or 4-1-2-2-1, however you want to call it. It's a 4-3-3, let's be honest, with a DM. I can't explain to you why it's gone so terribly, terribly badly for them. Maybe starting Tammy Abraham isn't smart. Maybe starting Callum Hudson-Odoi isn't smart, although looking at those average ratings, he was one of their best players. I have no words. But we have seen now what potentially could happen. I know this is only the FM world. It's only a bit of fun, really. It's not to be taken too seriously, but Chelsea fans, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Maybe if Thomas Tuchel comes in, maybe something like this will happen. Maybe he will get sacked and replaced again by the end of the season by Allegri. Maybe he'll go and walk you the league, because with the squad you've got, really, you should be doing something like that. It's a strange one. I honestly expected, with this simulation, for Lampard to get sacked every season, to be honest. I did kind of expect that. But I expected Tuchel to be like top 3 or 4 every season. So, yeah, like I said, the grass isn't always greener, Chelsea fans. But we'll have to wait and see what the future holds. This is only FM. Real life is a lot different. And I guess by the end of the season, we'll know whether the appointment of Thomas Tuchel, if he ends up at Chelsea, was a success. Whether they go for someone else. They might, I've heard even rumours about Ralph Hasenhüttl being linked. Please, Chelsea fans, Chelsea board, don't. Please don't. We need him. You don't. There's plenty of managers out there. You don't need him. He's ours. He's our boy, right? We'll give you someone else. You can have Jan Valery. He's a lovely right back. You'll love him. Just don't take our manager. We're getting sidetracked. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I know this was a first video. It was probably a little bit rubbish, but I hope it was fun. This was just something I couldn't really do on stream. You can't just sit there and simulate through 6 seasons worth of Football Manager and just see what happens for 10 minutes. I know it was closer to 40 minutes, but regardless. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like the video, please hit like, please hit subscribe, please leave a comment. Let me know what you liked about it, and if there is anything you didn't like about it, please leave a comment and give me some constructive criticism, some feedback. Let me know how I can improve, because I'm always want to improve, and I'm striving to improve and make things better. Follow my Twitch channel, which is down below. Follow my Twitter, which is also down below, linked in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.